Look, I was surprised when I saw John Grisham's name in the nearest thrift store I went to. I know from my uncle's stories that John Grisham was his favorite and his legal thrillers. So as a legal newbie, I wanted to explore and read his works as long as I finished them. So I grabbed a second-hand copy of the Testament from Bookends here in Baguio City. I thought this was a 3-story book, that they were separate, but the 3 characters were connected in one story. For the first 3 chapters, it got me hooked already. It was about a billionaire named Troy Phelan. Remember the name. Troy Phelan has many families. You know, he procreated with many women as possible and he spread his name. So he had many children, a pack of vultures, all waiting for their share into his wealth. So long story short, he killed himself by falling to the ground from his tallest skyscraper, and his body scattered near the parking lot. I don't know if that's accurate, but that dog. Now, he had this handwritten will. His lawyers were dying to see who would be the heirs, and they found out it was his only illegitimate daughter, Rachel Lane, whose whereabouts are unknown, somewhere in Brazil, who is working as a missionary with indigenous Indians and isn't aware that she is a chosen heir to a pretty $11 billion. Who knows if she'll want that much money when she's happily and humbly working as a disciple of God? That remains a question, but it is the sole adventure for Nate O'Reilly, the lawyer who is both broken and broke, who just finished his rehab, to find this lady, the humble heiress. Now I will keep my mouth shut or I'll spoil it more. But as a bonus, I came to a point in the book where I'd learn how primitive people live constantly like a cycle. They don't bother to be naked. They have sufficient food for their settlements, but they have complicated rules and, to no surprise, no crimes. Crimes have only surfaced when there was civilization, I guess. There were no favorite lines in this book because I just underlined them and put either question marks or exclamation points on the pages. It has a straightforward writing style and bigger font sizes. So unlike in Emma, I would finish 4 chapters in 2 hours, but in the Testament, I could go for 14 chapters. I have a lot of lessons and ideas that I learned here in this book. First, what I learned is that the greed for money destroys values in family. Sad but true in the Phelan family. Second, God is providing, but you need to ask Him. We have a part in the story where Rachel, which is a missionary, convinces Nate that God is there. And I love that part because it built a character development for Nate. If you observe Nate from the first part of the story to the last, you will see a great improvement. Third, lawyers get caught on court, at least. But in the Philippines, I don't know. But one thing is for sure. You can buy court witnesses anywhere in the world. Fourth, I do not approve of divorce. We had a debate before in our 10th grade. I was in the negative side, and up until now, I am still against it. Not because I am a devoted Christian, but also, for me, it makes a person reluctant to growth. For example, Nate. Nate, which is the lawyer, has 2 divorces. And for each divorce, of course, obviously he was in a after each, so he needed an escape, which is drinking and hitting the bar. I won't discuss my whole reason for it, but if the Philippines will legalize divorce, I hope there's no rush, and I think there are more important issues that still need the attention, like for example, strengthening the familial ties here in the Philippines. And for me, in my opinion, we must first be confident in building families before trying to break them as peacemakers in society. Well, I sounded technical in that part. Let's go back. Fifth, last but not least. The last lesson I learned here is that a simple life is all it takes. Take that from Rachel. So, all in all, The Testament by John Grisham was a great book. You have the humor, you have the thrill that you want. But honestly, I can't imagine Nate being younger than Josh. I thought Josh was younger. And Nate, I can't imagine his appearance. So yeah, I have this copy, it's my hard copy. People were looking at me while holding this in the minibus on my trip to home because I plan on reading this at summer vacation, and so yeah. It is an 8.5 over 10 book. Don't mind me giving decimals. I have my reasons and my estimates. That's it for our book review today. Consider John Grisham in your reading list. Start with The Testament. This book has a great character development. It has the thrill, it has the humor. Like I said before, it also has some historical inputs and ecological concerns here and there about the Pantanal, the islands of Pantanal. And it's just amazing how John Grisham was also there, was able to explore in reality the islands of Pantanal. That's why he had a great detail in writing this book. So it's worth the read.